Top leg is going to be bent 90 degrees. Bottom leg is going to be straight. And there should be a nice line like this. Okay? And then I like to take the arm and then just gently drop it here. And this is going to pull the shoulder back and expose the neck. And then I can get a little bit of information. What's going on with Hannah. Does it freak you out to have this area worked?
A little bit. That's good. I'll go there.
Use a little bit of oil. Because of the surgery that she's had, I just want to see what we're dealing with first before I do anything further. Since your latest surgery, has anything pulled out of place or caused you any?
Hasn't pulled out of place, but it's affected the internal rotation of my shoulder and created more winging of that scapula because something's been like deactivated. My serratus anterior have been deactivated, so now this pulls this all forward.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Is it a nerve thing that you say it's been deactivated?
They're wondering if they maybe actually like.
Do you feel?
Oh yeah, I feel.
Okay.
It just like this totally overpowers the muscles that should pull that scapula back and down.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You almost feel like a wing developing here when you put her shoulder. Like it's just a slight nudge this way, and it really pronounces this part.
It's shortened.
Yeah, it's just like really, really tense. Then we ask ourselves, well, it's probably a band, right? So which band is it on? If we follow it up, where does it go? Right? Let's look at the chart. Where does it go? If I just...
Artery span?
Yes. Asia gets the cookie.
I actually brought 2 cookies because he keeps promising. And
I know, right?
I got a cookie.
Oh, thank you.
There was almond cookies when you
I
started
know.
the course.
Yeah.
You ate them all. It was me.
So you notice I'm just doing very soft, gentle nudges. And the reason I'm doing this is she's very tight, extremely tight. And I'm just trying to use every tool in my toolbox just to say, hey, what can we do to soften it up? You know? Just maybe some slight movement, no torquing motions, just very light, just like, hey, it's okay. It can be a little bit of fluidity. You know, we don't need to lock up against it. Now I trace it. It's very pronounced. This is the kind of tension you'd feel if somebody was really grinding their teeth or had a clenched jaw. That's the kind of tension you would feel, but this is Hannah at rest. This is not how it should be. I really feel bad that you're going through this. All right, so just a little assessment, okay. Carries through the collarbone. Is there a problem with rotating your arm or shoulder?
Back, yeah, it gets
Okay,
right
so
in there.
okay, so yeah, I definitely can feel it.
Yeah.
The great thing about the side position is you have more than 180 degrees of area that you can work towards. And here, this is the always be curious part. We're just trying to, right now I don't really have a strategy yet. I haven't really fully kind of come to terms with what I want to do first. I'm just got my little feelers out. I'm just observing, testing. What do I feel? What insight am I gleaning from this? I love that word, gleaning. Gleaning some insight. Okay. So I found a little something here as well too. So this is the mirror effect. Okay, she felt tight when I put her arm back, it twinged here. But then I bring her arm forward, and now I feel as well too, upper little finger band. So there's a lot going on, and I'm glad you're the volunteer. The universe chose you wisely, because you're the perfect candidate for today's lesson. Okay, so you can almost see a little bit too with Hannah. It's almost like the bottom part of her scapula is pulled out more because there's that rotation, right? She said there was a tendency to have the shoulder roll.
So is that because there's so much in the front that it's like pulling it forward and out?
Yeah, she did say she was tight in here, but I don't know, maybe what do you think they did in the surgery? Did they adjust any of the muscles, or they just worked on the vertebrae, or did they do anything at all to the soft tissue?
No, they just did the disc.
What about in the process of accessing the disc? Did they have to move anything, or?
I was asleep, I don't know. Very much asleep.
I wish surgeons would record everything that they do.
Yeah.
Right, but they don't for liability issues. They don't want.
Really? They don't record that stuff?
I went for a colonoscopy, and I told them specifically, I want to be awake while it's on, so just general, because I want to see what my colon looks like. It's my colon. I have the right to know what it looks like.
What a weird thing. What does that look like up there?
Well, they said I had ulcerative colitis, so I'm like, okay, well, show me. Show me this ulcer. Let me see what you see. I'm not just going to take your word for it. Where's the video evidence? I said, I want to be awake and look on the monitor while they're working on me. And then, of course, they put me right out. And I said, oh, can I see the video? Like, oh, we don't record. I was so upset.
Interesting.
It's like, my body's my right. I should know. I'm just going to take your word. You just tell me I have to take this medicine for the rest of my life, and I'm just supposed to take your word for it.
They
Show me the
wouldn't show
proof.
me the assistant to go right there. I'm like, I want to see that thing. I'm curious.
It's my system.
Really?
Belongs
Wow,
to
I
me.
feel like that's like that should be a part of what they do.
It's liability. If they ever do anything wrong, they don't want any video evidence.
Yeah, they
It's
stopped
true.
recording under treatment.
Interesting. Yeah, they all get away with murder, that's for sure.
Huh.
Literally.
Even dentists. Yeah, like they're not held accountable for messed up dental work.
My stepdad's dealing with that. He had like $40,000 done to the top jaw. And now all of his teeth are like, the implants that he got put in, they're all falling out. They're not staying in, and they won't cover it.
Yeah, they won't. Yeah.
Now I'm feeling
It's ridiculous.
here. I got some more information now. Just slight rolling, right? I'm just being caring and conscious. I know she has some injury, so I don't want to hyperextend anything. I want to be gentle in my approach, but I want to find out what's going on. And I do feel a real big knot here. Okay. Now it could be tightness here. That's pulling that upper little finger band also tight. So we've got the mirror effect. We've got the inner thumb band.
What about underneath?
In
Like
the armpit?
and the side.
Yeah, I haven't really gotten there, but yes. Okay, so the little finger scapula band also tight. It's almost like everything in this area is tight. So what do you think the first thing I should do is?
I would think the rubric.
Yeah, everybody agree?
Yep, work the hand.
Yes. Okay, let's check it out. What's my corroborating evidence?
Zero cracking.
Did you bring a little hand towel?
Oh yeah, it's in the Hudson's Bay bag over
The white bag
by the
there,
table.
Hudson's
Yeah.
Bay.
Because we're all screwed up in there.
there a smaller one?
Yeah, there should be two. There's a blue one and a white one, I think.
Yeah, that's great. I'll take that one. Thank you. All right, thank you. Ooh, chopstick too. Good. Just so you can see what I'm doing. Now, generally, a thumb should be able to do a box. Okay, should be able to do a 90-degree angle at this joint. And then I should do another 90-degree angle close to the wrist. Okay, so she can easily do this one. No problem at all, pushing down this joint. This joint is nice and loose. Okay, but what do you see here?
45.
Yeah, so what does that tell us? Tightness here.
Outer thumb.
This is inner thumb band, yeah, but
Inner
it could,
thumb.
outer thumb could be as well too. I guess I should just take it off so you guys can see what I'm doing. Yes, okay. So, yeah. This is a nice point to work. Don't do this on pregnant women. This is a contraindication. It's called like a reflex point or a convulsion point. It can make the body seize up, and if it's early term pregnancy, could cause a miscarriage. If it's late term, could induce labor. So,
It's the great eliminator.
the great eliminator. Let's eliminate our baby. I should not say that. Started to take on a different meaning mid-sentence. I'm like, oh, that's something different. Maybe it needs a stretch. Okay, remember this one that I showed you guys this morning? Feel it loosen the hand.
My fingers don't bend that far.
Mine don't even
Yet.
bend that far.
Yeah, Trevor.
I like don't believe that my fingers can go that far.
So this is the side position
Side position.
for accessing pretty much everything on that
You
side.
got it. Yeah. Yeah, it's one of my. I like to be massaged in this position. I like to give a massage, and I like to receive a massage in this position. If you have to get really deep into the shoulder, you've got a lot of interesting things to do in the shoulder. This is the way to do it. This is also how you would do pregnancy massage.
Oh,
If they
okay.
can't lie on their belly or their back, right?
Hopefully we covered that, Trevor.
We absolutely did, including the contraindication on which side.
Okay, so we got a little click in that joint.
Yes, we did a whole day second session. Well, we say we didn't have a pregnant person in our class.
That's true.
But
That's true.
you know, we
I think on the USB we have the
say it,
Yeah.
and we talk about it, and we talk, I do the contraindications Monday morning.
Oh, okay.
But I forget which side.
It's always laying on the left.
Is the contraindication or the way to do it?
It's always on the left. the contra is the
Yeah,
right.
with the right, yeah.
I mean, you can, to their comfort, you can have them on there right for a
It just
limited
keeps going.
amount of time. I would say 15 minutes is my max. 15, 20 minutes. But for the most part, yeah.
Yeah, those full circles on the days feel good.
This? Is that what you're talking about? On the fingers, yeah.
Each joint.
Oh, let's start with the thumb first.
You're gonna want that one.
You guys are already pretty familiar with the chopstick work, so I don't want to spend as much time. Just do a little bit just to activate. So this might be one of those instances I feel a lot of density, and energetically her fingers feel heavy and congested. It feels like there's not a lot of flow to them. So I'm just gonna twist, 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 twist until it's no longer comfortable.
Twisting the finger.
Yep, rotating the whole finger. Because sometimes massage isn't going to do it, stretch isn't going to do it, but a twist will do it.
There's a whole Indian art of twisting the joints.
Really?
Indian head massage and Indian finger twisting massage.
Indian finger twisting massage. What are you doing that?
Just twist.
Yeah, I just felt this a heaviness to the fingers. That's probably because of her profession, right? That's what she's doing for a living. She needs more self-care.
Yeah, I found yesterday her middle finger to be extremely wood-like.
Yes, that's a good way to put it. Wood-like.
Yes, I did dig a little bit, you know, I'm managing the clock the whole time, right? I did, her neck reflexology on both hands. I really dug in to separate the fingers from the hand. Her middle finger is just like totally immobile. Like right up through too, right up through the hand, into the wrist. I was really quite surprised. You know, I look at her like sort of a skinny little girl. I didn't expect her hands to have that much
Tension.
thick closure inside. I
Okay.
expected it to be quite supple. It wasn't. It was very jammed up.
It's a lot of pain.
Yeah, I think I can only attribute it to the pain she must be going through with the stress of that thing. And I'm sure there's a chart I could probably Google, and we might find out that she's, maybe it's, since that's the chest band, that's worry, right? And burden, isn't it? So maybe that's what it is for her.
On the right side too. Different thing.
So I'm sure there's more we could look into.
Working through towels, being helpful. So now I'm doing a stretch. You can see I've repositioned it. I was pulling, twisting, excavating. Now just moved into a stretch. Just trying new things. I've got to, you know, wasn't quite releasing the twist, so I'm just adding another element. You know, what's another tool in my toolbox that I can apply here?
I call it too, I'll say gross motor moves as opposed to the fine detail. If the stretch, you know, he's doing the work, it's not working, do the stretch, it's not working, then it's like, well, what else can I do? Maybe you could put a big fat knee with just some wide ass pressure.
Some wide ass pressure.
Some wide ass pressure.
Like in our class, you actually use your feet on my hands, and it felt great.
Right.
The walking.
Sometimes it's just the wide pressure they need. Squish that.
I think we found something here, right?
Reverse it, right?
And I find we can take it right.
And here I'm actually working through a towel.
Because she can take it better as opposed to a finger poke.
Yeah.
That's as good as a 10, pulling away. Okay, nice. So now I notice the difference. Just doing the little pressures into the tip has softened up this joint right here. I feel there's a little bit more wiggle to it. It feels a little bit more open from the inside, from the center of it. Okay, let's go to the next finger.
That rolling over the band for excavation and really finding the band was a huge tip yesterday. It really helped solidify. Because I did it, but I did it without consciously thinking about it. And then yesterday with Nikki, I did, and it was just popped easier.
Yeah.
Sometimes you want to follow the linear path of it, you know, just the straight vertical.
Mhm.
And then other times you want to transverse. See how I'm doing both.
Are you trying to access the inner wristband there,
Yes,
or
correct.
the?
Inner wristband, yeah. And I can use the side of her body as a work surface.
I watch the face a lot too, and it kind of gives me an indication on where they're looking at. See their lumps and bumps and the wrinkles and their frowning. Try to disperse that energy.
So you see, as I'm coming up through the wrist, right, I'm getting the entire band, but then, oh, she just reacted a little bit more at this particular spot. Okay, so just note where it is, and then now sink an elbow. Notice how I use the twist of the wrist and pulling up on the thumb with this other hand as well too. Just to help you, because if you feel the band is gliding underneath my thumb. So by holding my thumb over the band and then twisting a little bit, It just helps me gauge where the tension is. Helps me
Oh.
It's still the wristband.
This one is now the thumb band.
The thumb.
So this is what you're saying I bounce around. You're right. I was doing the inner wristband, now I'm doing the inner thumb band. This is their path right here.
But notice that he's still in the same
Zone.
zone of limb. Like I have found it disturbing if you're low here and you're on one band and then you go higher and on another band. I find if you're trying to clear it radially all around in the same zone, that's okay. I don't know. What do you think, Terry?
Yeah, I kind of do like segments. You know, I'm working the hand. Okay, now I'm gonna work the
Wrist
lower
to
arm.
elbow.
Yeah, like instead of doing one band, do, follow the way up, I'll do one band, second band, third band.
Right, from wrist to
One
elbow.
band, second band,
right.
third band, right?
That's so nice.
Just for me, I find it's a little bit more efficient. You can do a massage, one band from start to finish. We actually challenged my instructor, Jason, when he taught the class, if he could do all 12 bands in 1 hour. And he did just that. He worked one band start to finish, and the next one, 62 minutes, I think
That'd
it
be
took.
intense.
Yeah.
Stimulation.
It was not the most effective massage, but he just wanted to show, yes, you can. Somebody asked, or really tasked him to it, you know, can you do all 12 bands in 1 hour? And the answer is yes, and effectively.
Yeah.
So, do you want to just?
Because you're not waiting really. You're not gonna like let it all.
It's
go.
hard to really
Yeah.
connect with the tension. I mean, if the
Yeah.
person's at maintenance level, maybe they could do that, but
Yeah.
for
If they've got lots of tension in
there's
one
no
spot.
chance if I was working on Trevor, could I do that?
It might take me an hour to draw them on with a marker. Never mind work them.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes you can spend like so many minutes just in one spot.
Totally.
Like just right here where I am.
Yeah.
And
Or if that person's not ready to release and they're holding and they're fighting you, resisting you, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Or if their breath is a 20-second breath cycle.
okay. So it wasn't releasing, so what did I do?
Went back to the
Lower down to the roots, right? You got it. And then what did I find when I did that?
Tension.
Yeah, I found another spot that she really enjoyed. Who was it that mentioned about the crisscrossing finding? Was it you, Ellen?
I think so.
Yeah, just sort of gently plucking to find the band
Right.
before you go in deep.
Yeah. I kind of already know pretty much that if I know in my mind's eye where it's going to be without actually having to see it or feel it. So I just go where I think it should be, and it's usually there. But if you're just slightly off, yeah, you can just do a little pluck, a little wiggle until you feel the snapping of it. The bungee cord guitar string feel. As you're learning, it's a great resource, great tool. Okay, now come back up. Does it make a difference? Did that work? Okay. Is your thumb getting a little bit more release? I still feel outer thumb here. Ooh, okay. So, did the inner thumb seem to be effective, but then I felt some more tightness, some more resistance on the other side, which is the outer thumb band. Went down to the root again, discovered it's still trapped in this little part of the thumb here. Now I haven't done this part yet with the tool. Just like Karina said, be mindful you're not too close to the nail bed. Give it some reward. Okay, and I'm feeling it's releasing a little bit, tiny bit. But it might be enough to kind of move on to the higher areas of the body. What are you feeling there, Hannah? Feeling
It's
some?
really intense in here right now.
Let's come down here. Intense in what kind of way? Just tightness or? Okay, let's do a little bit more yin. A little bit back further, okay. You guys feel it softer here? Do you remember that
Yeah,
wing?
it looks a lot better.
Tell me what the sensation feels like.
Pain.
Smooth it out. Do you want some P3 cream?
It doesn't matter.
Some eucalyptus? Yeah.
What is P3 cream?
Just like a lotion with some essential oils in there.
It's like numbing.
You get it? It should be in that bin there, I think. Do it again. Can you describe the pain?
No. It's kind of like a dull, knife digging straight through my spine somehow.
Has it lessened?
A little bit, yeah.
Crisis averted? Mm-hmm. So whenever you feel that, right, just address what the client's saying. Something's moved here. We pushed a lot of energy, so it probably got a little bit cooled up there.
Is there like pool up there? So then what would you do?
Yeah, you see how I directed it out,
that's-
right, out of her head.
That's what I was wondering if you did that.
Yeah, just slow things down and just, let her regroup.
Can I maybe get a blanket? I'm
Sure.
freezing cold.
Who's got a blanket?
Or a towel or something.
Cover her with that first.
Yeah. That's a good idea. Is this a fitted or a flat?
It's a flat.
Bring that arm out, please. Okay. Oh, sorry. There's a measurable difference in that tightness.
You can see it from here.
Yeah. It's not a big ridge like it was.
She's processing a lot of energy at this moment, so So the next place to go, we've done a great job on the thumb. We've really opened up the inner and outer thumb band, the inner wristband. Shot up some energy up there, cleared some tightness in the trapezius muscle. To carry on the work now, I feel the continuation of the outer thumb band is quite pronounced. It's very, very, very rigid. It doesn't have any suppleness to it at all. It feels like a steel cable inside here. Does anybody want to come and have a feel? And you can see just the slightest bit of pressure is activating something.
Use your fingers a lot more in this than your...
Yeah, I can make a nice row with my 4 fingertips. Then it gets a very broad footprint, so it disperses.
Doesn't feel as sharp.
Exactly, yeah. If I put all that pressure with 1 finger, it's going to feel more intense than if I disperse it over 4 fingers. We call that the snowshoe effect, you know, you get a broader surface area. It supports the weight. Now, I don't have to do anything here. I just need to hold this here. Hannah's doing all the processing right now. So when this tension gets accessed, I feel there's a tendency for her to seize up underneath it. So I'm just encouraging her now, no, that's not the way to do it. We're not gonna get, you have to breathe through it, let it flow through you. Not to resist against it, not to fight it, not to keep it trapped inside your body, but to let it flow.
That's where you bring movement.
Yeah, so this is my, right, my supportive hand, my nurturing hand, and this is my excavation hand. Sometimes in our efforts to protect ourselves, we can do more damage. You know, this is a protection mechanism to seize up. So there's a tendency for that shoulder to roll forward. So the moves that I'm doing now are to try to reverse that. I'm doing things, little slight adjustments of the arm and the shoulder. Notice how I'm rolling her thumb backwards, so that's going to bring the shoulder back. I think this area in the elbow right here is key to this treatment. A little bit of a cheek pump. Just feeling, making sure she doesn't seize up and tighten up against the treatment. So I'm really working at more like a 7 and an 8. We can be nice sometimes. What came first, the tension, the neck issue, or the tension in the arm? Did the
Are
neck?
you asking me?
Yeah.
Probably the neck, and then this was protection.
Okay. I even see when Hannah's in their circle of trust, when she's describing, she does that a lot to show us what happens. I think a little bit of me was like, let's not do that. Because I think it just like compounds it. Okay, so let's just give this a little bit of a break. Let's come a little bit higher up. There's still a lot of tension here. Oh, wow. This is just sponged out. Yeah, wow. Not anywhere nearly painful like it was when we first touched her there, right? Do you remember how sensitive she was when you did that? Yeah. But it's still here. This is quite an anomaly. It shouldn't feel the way it feels right now. I'm going to do just the tiniest little bit of a stretch. Not enough that she wants to resist against it, just enough that she can feel the stretch, breathe through it, try to surrender around it.
Maybe it's the top side of your thumb.
Just her amount of her range of motion and how that has improved.
A lot of it is just getting your mind to accept, okay, I can be in this position safely.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be hyperextended. I'm not going to be forced. I can just acknowledge, okay, I'm here. It's okay. Now I can surrender around it. Now I can breathe into it. And the more you do that, and the more I encourage to increase that range of motion, the better the condition's going to be. Till one day you wake up and it's just not there anymore. Tomorrow. Okay, so she expressed a little bit of discomfort, so I came back a little bit, right? Came back to a more comfortable area for her. Let the body catch up to the work. I felt a tightening, a resistance, so what did I do? Gentle shake, just a gentle, it's okay, let go. Right, don't hold it tight. Why you clenching, right? You need to clench here. This reminds me, Karina, of the session with Gerardo. His legs, we did something very similar to his legs. Just kept pushing the envelope.
Up to
sturdy. But it's still soft now though.
Still, after all these years, eh? So this cable, you felt the cable, right? Come and feel it now, Joshua. Is there any difference to it?
Here is way more something. Down here, instead of being like a bar or cable, it's like ropey.
Ropey, yeah. It went from a steel cable to a rope bridge. Right. This is quite a bit. Do you notice any difference here? It's still a tiny bit tight, but not. When it's super tight, it really pulls to the surface, and it's really right near the top. So like as soon as you touch it, you know it's there. But we actually have to go deeper to find it now. We have to squish a little bit more to see where it is. It's still here, but it's less like a steel bar and more. It just feels like there's some separation in there. Now, sometimes these slight changes in texture are very subtle, but if you're tuned in, you can feel them. Okay.
Is that the outer thumb band?
Yeah, I think it's the inner thumb band. Inner or outer, I'm not too sure. I might be on both of them at the same time because I got a broad surface area. Outer thumb, inner thumb. So I think I was getting both. What are you feeling? Okay. Right, so she's getting that.
Yeah, for my students, you remember we went over that tonight? It's just an imbalance of carbon dioxide in your system. When your inhale and your exhale are not balanced, it's often by pursing the lips.
Vasoconstriction.
Yes, you're restricting the flow. It's not equal. And Raynor was saying Brandon will often remind us to have loose lips so that your exhale and your inhale are balanced. The tetanize sets in. It's just a carbon dioxide imbalance. It'll return in time. Sometimes it can take up to a half hour after the
Just pause what you're doing and just bring some more blood flow to the extremities.
When you think of tetani, think of tetanus. Tetanus is also known as lockjaw. Right? So when you're locking in, that's all it is. It's nothing to be scared of.
It started like this, and then that was the tension band. Cable, it just collapsed under the weight of my arm there. Did you feel the release on that one? Okay, so moving up the chain more, all right?
So the shoulder strategy today was just basically finding the tension and then following it from the roots up to the shoulder?
Yes, working into the chest, working into the back. I'm catering this specific demonstration to Hannah, to her injury. When you're paired up with your partners, it may not be this way.
Yeah.
It may be more in their legs, it may be more.
Can you just sort of highlight what other sort of practical techniques come from this
Certainly.
position?
Okay. It's all about the manipulation of the arm, okay? So you've got a full range of motion there. And you're lining it up because you can't really do this so much when they're lying face down or face up. But you noticed how I put my leg to support her arm here. A lot less sensitive in this area now. I'm pressing quite a lot of pressure. Okay. So let me show you some hinge work, okay? So take your thumb and your hand, your fingers this way. Now her arm's gonna fold over right here, okay? You see how the arm meets the body here? And then at the back, if you come around this side, hinges here. So you just loosely hold between the forearm and the elbow. Now, on somebody who doesn't have a shoulder injury, I'd be a lot more, use a little bit more strength in getting her upper body, this part to go, right? We talked about doing alternating motions, right? The thunder and lightning, we called it. So I want to bring the elbow back as I bring the upper body forward and then switch it up. But because the injury, I'm not doing it as strong on her torso part.
Vigorous.
Yes, vigorous, that's a good word. But also because, you know, we're trying to get to build up the trust. I think it's working really well. Okay, now you're going to get a lot of information when you rotate the arm. Okay, what did we discover? Why? Why did she have a little bit of a cry there? Okay, because here. Okay.
Is it more the little finger band?
Yes, this one now is a little finger band, right? We've done a really good job opening up the inner thumb, the inner wrist, the outer thumb. And now that we've opened up that side, the other side tends to show more, right? So it's like the tension's always going to jump out at you. And as you remove some tension, the predominant tension, the lesser tensions will show. Yes. Okay, give it some reward. Okay. So look how I can get it from this side position. I can really manipulate the arm to get where I need to be. It'd be harder to get to this point when they're face down or face up. Doing great. Some reward. Okay, maybe it's still stuck here. Yep, it is. This isn't quite releasing, so I go lower down the chain. I haven't really worked the backside of her upper arm yet. Okay, maybe I stand on this side of her body now. Did you work with Nicole in your certificate of diploma week?
Yes, I did. Yes, that was awesome. I think I've worked on all my students here. We've had a session, we've had session, we've had session.
Do you have any preference who you want to work with, Trevor or Nicole? I'm getting the sense that I'd like to put Josh on with Hannah. You guys haven't worked together yet, have you?
No. Sorry, I get my involved in it.
Because I've done this work on both of you today, and you both kind of need it. Starting to soften. So maybe I'm going to put a forearm on this spot now. Before, her thumb was up. Do you remember her thumb was up and I was on the cable band here? Now her thumb is down. And now I'm going to work on the upper little finger band. Where does the upper little finger band go?
Top of the back.
Through her tight areas, right? Through the trapezius muscles. Isn't that where she's had some issues here? Isn't that interesting? All related. Oh, there you go. Thank you. We did the math between Asia's been working full time at my center since she graduated in January, February. And then Josh for the last month or 2 weeks. And then I was just mentioning, I asked Karina and Nicole, how many years of experience with Raynor massage do you have? 4 years and 5 years, and I've got 12 years, and Asia 1 year. Together, I think there's 22 years of experience in Raynor massage in this class, from the instructor level. But every time I work, every new client that I get, every new condition that I get exposed to, I always learn something new. You know, I learn to be a humble student. Always, even though 12 years of experience, I still don't feel I know everything there is to know about Raynor massage. And every time I had the opportunity to study with Brandon, every time I get blown away, I get impressed with there's more stuff to learn, there's more stuff to do.
Brandon gets new insights all the time.
Yeah. So no matter where we are in our Raynor massage career, there's always more you can learn, and just to be open and be a humble student. And everybody just wants to elevate everybody to the next level. It's not a judgment call of, oh, I'm better than you, or I can massage better than you, or I don't like your massage as much as the next person. It's just like we just want everybody to elevate the Raynor massage brand as much as possible, so everybody can experience it to the best of the way it's being practiced by the founder, Mr. Brandon Raynor. Yeah, I'm glad you're all in this advanced class, because it definitely will take your massages to the next level. And to continue on, there's also the master level class. You can take that with Brandon directly in Australia. Now, what I'm feeling here in Hannah, when I move this part of the arm, I feel a resistance here. It's softening. There's still deep tension. So I'm just going to be gently squeezing. Just let me know if you feel something here, Hannah. Just going to give you a gentle caress. And then some reward. Like this part, flip-floppy. You know, it's a technical term, but it's the tension's let go of the hand, it's let go of the wrist, it's let go of the lower arm. Now I can see it's here. It's trapped here. What can we do to get rid of that? How can we position it? You know? Right? Especially like here.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd like you guys all to feel this actually, because this is unusual. It doesn't feel natural, you're right. It's just take your whole entirety of your hand, Nikki, and just, you know?
Say, what does tension feel like? There's a list of words that it could feel like.
Yeah.
Steel is one of those words. It could feel like steel. Concrete.
What's its texture? What's its resistance to your touch? What's its range of motion? What's the energetic feel of it? Right? What density would you give it? What analogy in nature? What would you know? Is it like a sponge? Is it like a jellyfish? Or is it like a turtle shell, you know? Is it like a fossil? It feels almost like it's been fossilized, you know?
That's what it feels like.
A little bit, yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna go tell my kids I'm partially fossilized.
And you're relaxed, right? Like you're not
trying
you're
to
not
resist
clenching a fist, you're not like that's what it should feel like when you're you know? And that's her residual tension. Her body's at rest right now, and that's what she's feeling. And it shouldn't be that way. You know, if you compare it just for reference, you know, you could feel my shoulder or your own shoulders. You know, there's a difference. So let's get her to that stage where this residual tension isn't there.
Yes,
So, piecemeal, we're doing it, you know, an inch at a time. We're getting there. Things are softening. And then you just say, oh, now it's stuck here. You know, we've done this. Now we're here. And it doesn't feel like soft tissue should feel like. It feels like there's rebar inside here.
So what would you do if you're running out of time for your appointment and you haven't gone through?
Well, I think the clients acknowledge that, hey, there's lots, you know, where our time is up. We've actually gone 20 minutes over time.
Yeah.
I say, I'm sorry, Hannah, we've done all that we can do. If I had another 2 or 3 sessions with you, I could totally eliminate all this tension. I have a special on the package if you want to continue to see me for another treatment. Yeah. How many packages do we sell in Kelowna?
I was on a real roll for a while there, and then summer came and it was like all touristy.
Oh yeah.
I honestly don't know, in like 2 weeks there was probably like 6 or more packages, and like with a really short week span. But I think it depends on a lot of different things, you know. The summer kind of hit, and I realized we were just getting a lot more like tourists and a lot more
Yeah, just like one-timers.
One-timers, yeah, and then you know summer is busy, so people are away and doing all sorts of things. But now that it's you know kind of winter again, I notice people are coming back, and now they're like, yeah, I've done this summer, and I didn't have any time to fix it. So
Here's the move I'd like to show you before we break for lunch. I call it the scapula lift. Okay. So you see how when you put the arm behind their body, it pops out the shoulder blade. So now I can reach up underneath there. And just give a gentle lift. I'm not going to try to lift her off the table, but just a little bit of a lift for her to get some separation.
oh, like you're grabbing in underneath.
Yeah.
Would you ever try and do a bit of a roll with that? Like if she's tight in the front, lift and give a bit of a roll
Like
towards
back?
the back?
Yeah, I mean, if I felt the tension was in, you know,
Yeah.
calling me to do that or urging me that way. I can see visibly this is just, right? I think we made a huge
Oh, yeah.
difference.
It's not you can't see it from here.
It's almost like there's almost no injury now. What injury? You had an injury? I don't see any injury. Just had some tension. Yeah, I went very gentle, just my hands and fingers. let's thank you, Hannah, for trusting me with your body and the injury that you previously had.
Thank you.
That's no longer going to bother you anymore. It's getting better every day, healing, and eventually, 2 or 3 more days, gone completely. Never to return. Is the other side as tight?
Not as tight.
So this was your left side, was the side that really has been giving you more troubles?
My right side.
Your right side,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
I was looking in the mirror when I said that.
Yes.
The other left.
But I overcompensate with the left. So we'll see.
Do you feel comfortable enough to work with her?
Yeah.
Okay, we did go a little bit over time. I'm sorry about that, but I didn't want to cut Hannah short on her treatment. You're welcome. So let's break for lunch and we'll come back at 2:30 at the very latest. The very, very latest. We should all be ready for work at 2:30.